Hi, this is my Greece population case study analysis. Greece's current population is 10.4 million people. Greece's crude birth rate was an overall declining trend. In 1861, there was an assassination attempt against Queen Amelia. In 1885, there was a Serbo-Bulgarian War. And in 1890, a bunch of Greeks emigrated to America. In 1914, World War I started and ended in 1918. In 1932, there was a Larissos earthquake, and Greece was on South Korea's side during the Korean War in 1950s. 2008 was when the economic crisis started. The crude death rate is overall pretty low. The Korean War took place in the 1950s, and the financial crisis took place in 2008. Financial crisis increased health issues and death rates, and the main causes of death in Greece are heart diseases, neoplasia, cerebrovascular diseases, respiratory diseases, GIT diseases, and metabolic diseases. The life expectancy in Greece is an overall inclining trend. In the 1960s, the first fast food chain was invented. In the 1918s, the Greco-Turkish War took place. In 1940s, World War II, 1946 was the Civil War, and 1950s and onwards was post-war. The total fertility rate is an overall decline. The Serbo-Bulgarian War took place in the 1885s, and in 1890s the Greeks emigrated to America, and the 2008 economic crisis took place in 2008. During the economic crisis, birth rates decreased, deaths surpassed births, and migration flows reduced. The infant mortality rate is also an overall declining trend. 1932 is where the Larissos earthquake took place. World War II was in 1940, Korean War in 1950s, and the economic crisis in 2008. The economic crisis increases anxiety and stress, which would impact health of pregnant women and infants. The main impacts on infant mortality rate are unhealthy behaviors such as smoking, alcohol consumption, and unhealthy food consumption, as well as age differences in pregnancies, which would lead to abortions. As shown in the population pyramids across time, in 1960, Greece had a low life expectancy, a high crude death rate, high crude birth rate, low infant mortality rate, and a high fertility rate. In 2020, there was a medium life expectancy, medium crude death rate, medium crude birth rate, medium infant mortality rate, and medium fertility rate. In 2060, it is expected to have high life expectancy, low crude death rate, low crude birth rate, high infant mortality rate, and low fertility rate. This means that from 1960 to 2020, there is a steep decrease in crude birth rates, steep increase in infant mortality rates, steep decrease in fertility rates, slight increase in life expectancy, and a slight decrease in crude death rates. From 2020 to 2060, it is predicted to have a slight decrease in crude birth rates, a slight increase in infant mortality rates, a slight decrease in fertility rates, a slight increase in life expectancy, and a slight decrease in crude death rates. The main physical factors of population distribution around Greece is that in Thessaloniki there are famous monuments and structures, meaning that there would be higher population density. In the islands, it is hard to build cities, so there would be lower population densities. And in Athens, it is the capital city of Greece, therefore having a higher population density. And for the human factors, where there are more agricultural areas, there will be less jobs, therefore a lower population density. In Athens and Thessaloniki, they have the best education, therefore a higher population density. The main issue in Greece is that there is a decreasing fertility rate and crude birth rate, and an increasing crude death rate. The consequences of these issues would result in an overall decrease in population, less workers, meaning a failing economy. The evidence is provided in these graphs, and my solution proposal is to reduce taxes for larger families, and families who have children should be provided with free or low-cost services. The number of children per family, in order for them to be considered as large, should also be reduced. Thank you for listening.